We grow up hearing stories of rescue. Fairy tales tell us that someone will arrive at the perfect moment, lift us out of struggle, and carry us into a better life. Movies show heroes who swoop in just when everything seems lost. Even in real life, we often wait for a mentor, a friend, or a stroke of luck to change everything. This belief feels comforting. It makes us think we don't have to act yet because help is coming. It makes us believe that one day motivation will strike like lightning, or someone will notice our potential and open the right door. But here's the brutal truth. No one is coming to save you. At first, that truth feels heavy. It feels harsh. But if you look deeper, you'll see it is not a negative thought. It is a freeing truth. Because the moment you realize no one is coming, you stop waiting. You stop blaming. You stop hoping for rescue. And you start taking responsibility for your own life. Waiting leads to stagnation. Every day passes quietly. Opportunities leave silently. Regret grows slowly. You don't notice it at first, but years slip away while you wait for the perfect time, the perfect person, or the perfect plan. Contrast that with action. The moment you decide to move, even imperfectly, everything changes. Pain becomes a teacher. Discomfort becomes a signal. Action becomes your power. I once knew a man named Arjun. He dreamed of starting his own business, but he kept waiting. He waited for the right partner, the right funding, the right moment. 10 years passed, and nothing changed. His dream remained a dream. Then one day he realized no one was coming. He had to start with what he had. He took small steps, learned from mistakes, and built slowly. Today, his business thrives, not because someone rescued him, but because he rescued himself. This is the contrast: waiting versus acting. Waiting feels safe, but it steals your future. Acting feels risky, but it builds your freedom. Here's a simple exercise. Write down one thing you've been waiting for. Maybe it's the right time to start a project, the right mood to exercise, or the right person to encourage you. Then ask yourself, what if no one ever comes? What if the right time never arrives? That question forces you to see the truth. And once you see it, you can act today. Because life does not wait. It moves forward whether you act or not. The clock is ticking, the days are passing, and the only person who can change your life is you. This realization is not meant to scare you. It is meant to free you. It means you don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to wait for approval. You don't have to wait for rescue. You already have the power to begin. Imagine two futures. In one, you keep waiting. You stay stuck, hoping for someone else to change your life. Regret grows heavier and opportunities fade. In the other, you stop waiting. You act, you learn, you grow. Mistakes become lessons, and progress becomes your story. Which future do you want? The lie we've been told is that someone else will save us. The truth is that we must save ourselves. And that truth is the beginning of freedom. So I ask you, if life won't wait for you, why are you still waiting for life? The cost of waiting: regret, blame, and lost time. Waiting feels harmless in the moment. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. I'll try when I feel ready. I'll act when the timing is perfect. It feels safe, even logical. But what you don't see is the silent cost. Each day you wait, a piece of your future slips away. Procrastination is not just a delay, it is a thief. It steals opportunities quietly, without alarms or warnings. Fear of failure whispers, not yet. Self-doubt adds, you're not good enough. Together, they convince you to stay still. And while you wait, time moves forward. I once knew a man named David who dreamed of writing a book. He had ideas, passion, and talent. But every year he told himself, I'll start when I have more time. 10 years passed. His ideas faded, his passion weakened, and his dream remained unwritten. He didn't fail because he lacked talent. He failed because he waited too long. Contrast this with another story. A woman named Hannah wanted to learn English. She was afraid of making mistakes, afraid of sounding foolish. For months, she waited for confidence to arrive. Then one day, she decided to practice for just 5 minutes daily. Her progress was slow at first, but steady. Within a year, she spoke with confidence. Her success didn't come from waiting. It came from acting despite fear. Comfort now often means pain later. When you choose comfort, you avoid risk, but you also avoid growth. When you choose courage, you face discomfort, but you also build strength. The contrast is clear. Temporary safety versus lifelong regret. Regret grows slowly. It doesn't hit you all at once. It builds quietly, like dust collecting in a room you never clean. One day you look back and realize years have passed, and the chances you once had are gone. Blame is another cost of waiting. When you don't act, it's easy to blame circumstances, people, or timing. You tell yourself, I couldn't because of them. I couldn't because of this. But blame is just another prison. It keeps you from seeing the truth. You had the power to act all along. Pain and discomfort are not enemies. They are signals. Pain tells you something needs to change. Discomfort tells you growth is happening. Instead of avoiding them, learn to listen. When you feel discomfort, it means you are stretching beyond your limits. When you feel pain, it means you are confronting what must be healed. Here's a simple exercise. Think of one area in your life where you've been waiting. Write down how long you've waited. Then ask yourself, what has waiting cost me? Maybe it cost you confidence, opportunities, or progress. Seeing the cost clearly will push you to act. Because courage grows instantly the moment you choose to move. The second you take action, even small action, you feel alive, you feel progress, you feel freedom. Imagine two futures. In one, you keep waiting, you stay stuck, blaming circumstances, carrying regret. In the other, you act. You face discomfort, you learn from mistakes, and you grow stronger. Which future do you want? Regret grows slowly, but courage grows instantly the moment you choose to move. Brutal truth. Beautiful power taking full responsibility. There comes a moment in every life when the excuses no longer work. You can blame your parents, your boss, your circumstances, or even the timing of the world. But deep down, you know the truth. None of those things will change your life. Only you can. This is the brutal truth. And yet, it is also the most beautiful power you will ever hold. Because the moment you stop blaming, you reclaim control. The moment you stop waiting, you reclaim freedom. Responsibility is not a burden. It is the key to your transformation. Victimhood feels safe. It allows you to say, it's not my fault. I couldn't because of them. I couldn't because of this. But victimhood also keeps you stuck. It locks you in a cycle of waiting, hoping, and regretting. Ownership, on the other hand, feels uncomfortable at first. It forces you to admit, if I want change, I must act. But ownership is the doorway to growth. I once knew a man named Carlos who spent years blaming his lack of progress on his job. He said his boss didn't support him, his company didn't value him, and his environment was toxic. But when he finally took responsibility, everything shifted. He stopped waiting for his boss to recognize him and started building his own skills. Within a year, he had a new career. His breakthrough didn't come from rescue, it came from responsibility. Pain can be a teacher. When you fail, pain shows you what needs to change. When you struggle, pain reveals where you must grow. Instead of running from pain, learn to listen. It is not punishment. It is guidance. Discomfort can be a compass. It points you toward the areas where growth is possible. If speaking in public makes you uncomfortable, that is the exact area where courage must grow. If saying no feels difficult, that is the exact boundary you must learn to set. Discomfort is not a sign to stop. It is a sign to move forward. Here's a simple exercise. Write down one area of your life where you feel stuck. Then ask yourself, am I blaming someone else for this? If the answer is yes, shift the question to, what action can I take today to change this? That shift from blame to action is the beginning of responsibility. Action becomes your new identity. You stop being the person who waits and start being the person who moves. You stop being the person who blames and start being the person who builds. Each step, no matter how small, reinforces your new identity. Imagine the contrast. On one side, victimhood, a life of excuses, waiting, and regret. On the other side, ownership, a life of courage, growth, and freedom. Which life do you want? The brutal truth is that no one is coming to save you. The beautiful power is that you don't need anyone to. You already have the strength to act. You don't need permission to change your life. You only need the courage to start. Building the warrior mindset, daily rituals for strength life can feel chaotic. Distractions pull you in every direction, and fear whispers that you are not ready. Without discipline, days slip away unnoticed, leaving you stuck in the same place. But with discipline, even small rituals can create unstoppable momentum. Discipline is not punishment. It's the path to freedom. The warrior mindset is not about fighting others. It is about mastering yourself. It is about building strength in the quiet moments when no one is watching. And the way to build that strength is through daily rituals. One of the most powerful rituals is morning reflection. Before the noise of the day begins, take 5 minutes to sit quietly. Ask yourself, what matters most today? This simple practice clears the chaos and gives you clarity. Instead of reacting to life, you begin to lead it. Another ritual is micro-disciplines. These are small, consistent actions that build massive results over time. Reading 1 page a day, exercising for 10 minutes, or practicing gratitude each evening may seem small, but like drops of water filling a jar, they compound into transformation. I once knew a woman named Priya who struggled with self-doubt. She wanted to feel confident, but she didn't know where to start. So she began with one micro-discipline, writing down 3 things she was grateful for each night. At first, it felt simple, but over months, her mindset shifted. She stopped focusing on what she lacked and started seeing what she had. That small ritual built her strength. Journaling is another powerful tool. Writing down your thoughts helps you see patterns. It shows you where fear controls you and where courage is growing. Journaling is not about perfection. It is about honesty. When you put your thoughts on paper, you take control of them instead of letting them control you. Self-talk is also critical. The words you speak to yourself shape your identity. If you constantly say, "I'm weak, I'm not ready, I can't," you reinforce fear. But if you say, I am learning, I am growing, I am capable. You reinforce courage. The warrior mindset begins with the language you use inside your own mind. Here's a simple exercise. Choose one ritual to begin today. It could be morning reflection, journaling, or self-talk. Commit to practicing it for 7 days. At the end of the week, notice how your mindset feels different. Small rituals create big change. The contrast is clear. Chaos leads to confusion, distraction, and regret. Discipline leads to clarity, focus, and freedom. Which path will you choose? Ordinary people have used these rituals to transform their lives. A man who once felt lost began journaling daily and discovered his true goals. A woman who struggled with procrastination started practicing micro-disciplines and built a thriving career. Their success didn't come from sudden breakthroughs. It came from daily rituals. Discipline is not punishment. It is the path to freedom. It is the choice to build strength every day, even when it feels small. And when you commit to these rituals, you begin to live with the warrior mindset. The day you stop waiting, life has a way of slipping by quietly. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you know it, years have passed. Too often, those years are filled with waiting. Waiting for the right time, waiting for the right person, waiting for the perfect opportunity. But here's the truth. Waiting will never save you. No one is coming to rescue you. And that is not bad news. It is the best news you will ever hear, because it means you are free. Free to act, free to grow, free to become the hero of your own story. Living small feels safe. It feels comfortable. You avoid risk, you avoid failure, you avoid judgment. But living small also means living with regret. It means carrying the weight of dreams that never came alive. It means looking back and wondering what could have been. Daring to be phenomenal feels different. It feels uncomfortable at first. It requires courage, discipline, and honesty. But it also brings freedom. It brings growth. It brings the joy of knowing you are living fully, not hiding quietly. I once knew a man named Sam who spent years waiting for approval. He wanted to change careers, but he kept waiting for someone to tell him it was okay. He wanted to travel, but he waited for the perfect timing. He wanted to write, but he waited for inspiration. One day, he realized no one was coming. He stopped waiting and started acting. His life transformed, not because someone gave him permission, but because he gave himself permission. This is the sharp contrast. Living small versus daring to be phenomenal. One path leads to regret, the other to freedom. One path keeps you stuck, the other sets you free. Here's a simple exercise. Write down one thing you've been waiting for. Then ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped waiting and acted today? That question is the doorway to transformation. Mistakes will come. Failures will happen. But mistakes are not the end. They are lessons. Failures are not final. They are teachers. Each step forward, even imperfect, builds courage. Each act of honesty builds self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Approval is no longer needed. You don't need someone else to tell you that you are worthy. You don't need someone else to give you permission. You don't need someone else to save you. You already have everything you need to begin. Imagine your future. In one version, you keep waiting. You stay stuck, living small, carrying regret. In the other, you stop waiting. You act, you grow, you transform. Which future will you choose? This is your moment of truth. This is your call to action. This is your challenge. The day you stop waiting is the day you start living. The day you stop waiting is the day you reclaim your power. The day you stop waiting is the day you become the hero of your own story. So hear this final crescendo. This is the day you stop waiting. Because the only person who can save your life is you.